Did Jeffrey ever give you any money ever for committing a crime for him?
I never committed a crime for him.
That was my next question.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastic. I know it's been a while since I've covered the Young Thug trial, YSL RICO trial that's happening in Cash Money G. Fani T. Willis. It's Fani T. Willis. I have no idea what the T stands for. I don't really care. In her district, as she is the district attorney, even though she hasn't made one single appearance in this entire trial. This is one of the most, we're gonna cover a little background on it. So if you've been wondering, Nez, where have you been? It's just been a really hectic couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to cover this as much as I want, but I finally have a little bit of a breath and I want to cover this right now. I'm going to share with you a couple of amazing clips that two things. So number one, Little Woody's back. Our boy Little Woody's back, who I think is the GOAT of witnesses. This guy does not give a flying beep about anything, and it shows time and time again. And then number two, our girl, District Attorney Fani Willis, gets caught red-handed, admittingly by Little Woody, of committing the most egregious, nefarious tactic. It shouldn't be surprising to anybody. Stick around for that. But just a little quick recap. I'm going to cover everything that happened in Woody's testimony. I was a little bit shocked that this Judge Whitaker, did not dismiss this case, because to me, this case is literally like trying to unscramble scrambled eggs. It is impossible that any of these defendants, including Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, could ever be afforded a fair and impartial trial after all the incriminating evidence, illegal conduct that's been, really executed by the previous judge that was on the case, Judge Suge Knight Glanville, by the prosecution, Miss Love, Miss Hilton, and the ghost Fani T. Willis. This case should have been dismissed. There's no way the jury can take anything the state presents as seriously, especially after what I'm going to share with you today. But just a really quick wrap up. Get your popcorn, get your beverage. This might be a long video, but check this out. So the Young Thug and 27 others were indicted in 2022 for violating the Georgia's RICO, Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Law, and committing multiple violent crimes. Following the longest jury selection in history, 10 months, the trial for Young Thug and several co-defendants began all the way back in November of 2023. This is almost a 12-month-long trial. It is now the longest trial in Georgia history. And we talk about this a lot. We talk about a waste of taxpayer money, the waste that's gone into this trial, the waste of resources, time, energy, never mind all the money. It's really the most egregious thing against not only the poor, hardworking, tax-paying citizens of Fulton County in Atlanta, but more importantly, it's a huge blight, a cancer on the entire criminal justice system in our country. As you know, we've talked a lot about this before. Prosecutors are attempting to prove that YSL Young Slime Life is a criminal street gang responsible for numerous offenses, including murder. The defendants maintain that YSL stands for Young Stoner Life and is the name of a record label founded by Young Thug. Young Thug is facing 8 criminal charges. The trial has been plagued by various disruptions, including illnesses, the arrests of a juror and a lawyer, the stabbing of defendant Sharon Stillwell, the removal of, we just talked about him, Judge Suge Knight Glanville, originally assigned to the case, and more. So what's happened in the last couple of weeks is Little Woody came back on the stand. Brian Steele cross-examined him. We even had Douglas Weinstein cross-examined him, pretty much all the defense lawyers. But the two big ones that I think really are worth sharing with you are a couple of clips from Brian Steele, who I think is really probably one of the most adept attorneys. He's proven that time and time again, and probably one of the most prominent attorneys in this case, as he is representing Young Thug, and he was also the attorney who was held in contempt and arrested in court by Judge Suge Knight Glanville, who has now been removed from the case. And Max Shart, who discovers And Woody didn't even know it. Wait till you see this clip. Woody is like, I didn't know that, which I know Woody doesn't know a lot, but this was really shocking, and it totally exposes Fani T. Willis. But let's go over this. The cross-examination of Kenneth. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to share a video. It's a real funny clip, really short clip, where he tries to get Brian Steele to say the N-word. It's funny. Stick around for that. The cross-examination of Kenneth Little Woody Copeland has continued to be intense. Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, has been relentless in questioning Copeland, trying to discredit his testimony by highlighting inconsistencies and his previous lies to police. Remember, this is the same guy who said, I don't ever tell the truth. I was raised to lie to cops, which I still don't understand what Judge Whitaker is thinking, saying, no, we're going to continue with this case when the star witness in the case, Little Woody, Kenneth Copeland, literally has admitted time and time again that I just really pretty much said whatever I was going to say just so I can get out of trouble. He revealed the ex parte meeting that he had no idea what was going on. His attorney was highly against it. It was the most egregious because the defense wasn't allowed to be there, even notified. It's just been train wreck after train wreck after train. And of course, in Cash Money G's district, right? Copeland, under pressure, admitted to fabricating stories to avoid harsher punishment, but he insists now that he's telling the God's honest truth. Let's check out a quick clip.
You don't know anything about anybody else. You said you told the police and the prosecutors you made all of this SHI blank up to try to finesse your way out of jail. Did you hear something to that effect?
Yes.
And who is the person
He just pointed.
who said they, when they came to see you, who are you referring to?
Them two right there.
And when you say them two, the two prosecutors sitting at the front table before the Honorable Judge Whitaker,
Yes.
Ms. Hilton,
Huh?
Ms. Hilton?
And Miss Love.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And did you tell them back in 2023 that what you said previously was to finesse your way out of jail and it's untrue?
Yes.
Did you make that clear?
Yes.
Did they come visit you at the Fayette County Jail?
Yes.
Wow.
Did you hear on this recording, you then said that they ended the interview and left because because you weren't doing what they wanted to hear. Did you hear that?
Yes.
And you're talking these two prosecutors that sit before the jury every day?
Yes.
Did you hear yourself say that you thought that they would believe what you said back in 2015 and let you go, but it didn't work? Did you hear something to that effect?
Yes.
Who is the they? Who are you, when you say, I thought that they would believe what I said and let you go? Who are you referring to?
The police.
Okay.
The gang unit.
And the jurors know who they are, but the same people that's been on the videos?
Yes.
And Detective Thorpe, I assume, if I'm wrong?
Yes.
Okay, and Agent Cunningham?
Yes.
So the defense has focused on showing that Copeland's testimony is unreliable due to his history of lying to authorities. During questioning, Copeland admitted that he would say anything to avoid going back to Fulton County Jail, which he described as the worst place in the world. This admission is crucial for the defense as they aim to prove that Copeland's statements against Young Thug and the others are motivated by self-preservation rather than truth. And that was really enlightened and manifested by Max Schart's cross-examination, Brian Steele's cross-examination, and pretty much all the defense attorneys' cross-examinations. So just to back up a second, so Kenneth Little Woody Copeland returned to the stand Wednesday morning as the trial involving Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, continues. During the testimony, new evidence was introduced by Young Thug's lawyer, which included a series of recorded phone calls made by Copeland from the Fayette County Jail in February of 2023. Now, in these recordings, Copeland admitted that he fabricated information in an attempt to manipulate his way out of jail. He acknowledged that he tried to finesse the authorities by making false claims, particularly about Young Thug. And that's kind of what we saw in the clip just recently. Copeland also revealed that state prosecutors had visited him in jail, and he informed them at that time that he had lied during the police interviews in 2015. Copeland further testified that he believes state prosecutors leaked an interrogation video online, which he claims harmed his reputation and endangered his family. Here we have a short clip of Woody basically incriminating or insinuating, rather, that the prosecution was behind the leak. Check this out.
You know, people are talking about it. You heard all those conversations, right? On the
Yes.
recording? Do you know who put that video on the internet during this, before this trial started?
I don't know who did it.
Do you have a belief who did it?
Yes.
And who are you referring to who did that?
Objection relevant to who he believes.
Goes to his state of
And
mind.
speculation.
Goes to his state of mind on the conversations that he's referring to. It puts it in context.
I'll allow it.
Who did you believe put out the videos on the internet of your interrogation, or the video?
The state,
And by the state, the same people you've been referring to?
I can't say specific if it was them, but the state did it.
Okay. And what did that have an effect on you or your family when you believe the state of Georgia put out your interrogation?
Well, they believe I'd be, if everybody say I'm a snitch, you know, this and that, third, they believe that I'd be like, okay, and just do what they want me to do.
So, I mean, the other attorney that I really want to focus on, who I think did a really good job of getting a lot out of, and he asks little Woody straight up about the ex parte meeting. Max Shart also asked Copeland if he was the one who committed an unsolved shooting at the TIG studio where Quan and YFN Lucci frequented. Woody responded by asking Shart if he had proof. When Sharp asked Woody if threat was with him, Woody again asked, "You got proof?" As Sharp continued to question Copeland, it became clear that he was attempting to show that it was Copeland who had a beef with Donovan Nutt Thomas, who is one of the murder suspects that Young Thug and others are accused of committing before his death, not his client Shannon Stillwell. So that's Max Shart's client, Shannon Stillwell. Copeland was clearly annoyed with Shart's questions and essentially stopped answering. However, this did not stop Shart. At one point, the prosecution objected that Shart wasn't letting Copeland answer, but the judge allowed the defense attorney to continue. So I'm going to play a clip really quickly of Max Shart asking about the ex parte and then incriminating Fani T. Willis as somebody who you got to see this. And just before I do, shortly before 5 p.m., Shart finished his questioning. Since it was almost the end of the day, Judge Whitaker adjourned for the day, and the trial is on break until after the Labor Day holiday. Copeland was ordered to return to court on September 3rd to answer questions from the state. So more to come here. This is where Max Shart asks about the ex parte meeting and makes it clear that really Woody had no idea what was going on. He had no idea what he was walking into. Listen to this.
Remember when you were in the judge's chambers?
I'm listening.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And just so we're clear, you didn't request to speak to the judge or the prosecutors, did you?
I had no clue where I was going.
Okay. And you had been in jail the weekend before,
Yes.
and guards brought you to the judge's chambers.
Took me straight in there.
Okay. And when you were brought to the chambers, Miss Hilton was there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
The SWAT team.
security, whatever they were, you saying the SWAT team. I was not there.
No, I didn't see you.
Okay. Mr. Stillwell wasn't there.
Who?
My client, Mr. Stillwell. Shannon.
No.
Okay. And none of the other defense attorneys were there.
No.
Okay.
Okay, everybody pay very, very close attention, because here is the biggie. I want you to really pay attention to little Woody's amazement at this and exactly what the defense attorney Max Shart says about District Attorney Fani T. Willis, and how this unfolds is quite remarkable. Check this out.
Briefly, the allegations against you that you believe are pending are that you accused a jail worker or a deputy of spraying with OC spray at the jail.
Right.
And the deputies, the supervisors, reviewed the videotape from the jail and determined that the jail worker did not have OC spray on her and did not spray you with any OC spray in the jail. Isn't that correct?
Right.
Did you know that the state, while this trial was going on, dismissed that case against you?
I didn't know that.
Well, I brought you good news.
Wow. This
May I
is
approach
huge.
your 27C?
This is huge. And by the way, the state, Fani Willis is in charge of she has to pass and give the green light to everything. It's not, look at Miss Hilton and Miss Love. This is huge.
Does that document say State of Georgia versus Kenneth Copeland?
I think.
Okay.
What you mean? I don't know.
That document indicates. May I approach?
You may.
This is huge. There is nothing Hilton and Love do without Fani Willis's consent. Huge.
Correct me if I'm wrong, does this document say the facts of this case have been reviewed, and although it appears that probable cause existed for the defendant's arrest, the decision of the district attorney at this time is not to prosecute the above named defendant? Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Okay. It says the reasons
Look at Miss
for
Love and
this
Hilton.
decision are as follows: prosecutorial discretion. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
the person whose name is on this document is Fani T. Willis, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Oof. You need to understand the breadth and depth of what this exactly means. What this exactly means is that Fani Willis dismissed felony charges against Woody, Kenneth Copeland, okay, we all know who that is, her star witness in this RICO case against Young Thug and the other co-defendants, YSL, etc. Those felonies were dismissed during this trial. Those felonies involved lying to police. This is so, you want to talk about conflict of interest? You want to talk about an appearance of impropriety, the oh dear of mendacity? Fani T. Willis, what lengths will you go to? What nefarious prosecutorial misconduct, ethical violation, every legal in the criminal justice system infraction and transgression will you be willing to commit to win? She is no better. I mean, this is why Kamala Harris is her mentor. It's all connectedness, nation, my fellow Americans. There is no length. There is nothing this prosecutor, this district attorney, Fani Cash Money G.T. Willis, won't refuse anything if it means she can win this case. This is damning. This is debasing. This absolutely is an affront to our legal system. This is an insult to the judge, an insult to the defendants, an insult to all the attorneys, an insult to the taxpayers of Fulton County, the hardworking taxpayers. This is an insult to America. It's an insult to our legal system. It's an insult to the judiciary. It's an insult to everything that we hold near and dear and true in our ethical. It's an insult to all of the practitioners of law who conduct themselves in a forthright, professional, ethical, and legal manner and fashion. It's insane. And so that to me is something that really, really stands out as something everybody should pay attention to. What's going to happen from here? I have no idea. Like I said, the way that I've been researching this and doing my own due diligence, I don't understand how this case hasn't been dismissed. It should be considered a mistrial. It should never come before the courts again. It is an ongoing train wreck, the largest, longest, most laborious case in Georgia history, in Fulton County history. It is a sham. It just seems like there's no way the jury can take, if this is your star witness, and if all of these facts have now come to light of back behind the scenes corroboration and prosecutorial misconduct, how can this ever be fair and impartial? How can this even continue? Oh, before you go, so I have to show you. I promised you I would show you this. This is hilarious. On a fun note, and then I want to hear what you think in the comments. Watch Woody, who tries to get Young Thug lawyer Brian Steele to say the N-word in court. Listen to this.
Said, listen, the N would give me money. You
What
feel
is N?
N-I-G.
Oh, nigga.
You feel what I'm saying? I said, listen, the N would give
One
me
more
money.
time.
You
What
feel
is N?
What is N? What you mean?
N-I-G.
Oh, nigga.
You feel what I'm saying?
Thank you. Like nothing happened. He just goes on like nothing happened. Little Woody, I'm telling you right now, I want you on my show, man. Who wants Little Woody? Let me know in the comments. Say, bring Little Woody onto the show. I would love to have Little Woody as a guest. He has a YouTube channel, I think, and he has he's on Instagram. I think he's on Instagram more than YouTube or anywhere else. Maybe TikTok too. Little Woody, if you're watching, you have an open invite to come onto our show. But Nez Nation, I know this has been kind of a sort of all over the place video, but I really tried to focus and highlight the most important aspects moving forward, because these are 8 hours a day trial. It's just a lot of legalese, a lot of things that really don't make a whole lot of sense if you're not if you don't have legal acumen or legal background. So I tried to really cut through all of that and share with you only what I think are the most important, the most significant, and the most interesting on top of that. I mean, obviously the most important first and then interesting. But let me know what you think in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on everything that we talked about, everything that we discussed, what my analysis is. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What do you think should happen? What do you think will happen? Let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to read your comments. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Follow and subscribe over there. Tap the thumbs up because it helps us reach more people. Sign up for our free newsletter. And as always, it's in the pinned comment. God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.